Hello, welcome back to the session as we talk about, my favorite topic, finances, but we're going to talk about in particular today, women and finances. And what really prompted this conversation was just, today is just speaking with someone about their financial situation. This was a lady, and she was just talking about how she had already compared her salary, to the industry that she's currently in. Now, she said she knew that other people were getting paid more, but she wasn't basing her decision on that, the other people in her office that were getting paid more. And I think, first of all, that's a great decision, because when you start going down that road of looking at what other people are making, a lot of times companies don't like that, even though most times you can share your salary and what you make. They just really doesn't like that. It really doesn't sit well with them. So I like that she said she went outside of that and really looked into the industry, the profession of what she's doing. And it really told her that she was underpaid, that maybe she should have changed a job several years ago. But because she has invested time in this job, have built a rapport with her team members, she wanted to stay with the company. However, she needed, not necessarily one, but needed a raise. And it was about time in comparison to. So I asked her what she was going to do about that. And she said she actually already went to her department. I don't know if it's department manager or whatever, HR. And they talked about it. And basically, we're here. They're not. They have not budged. They have not given her the raise that she deserves. So I asked her, what are you going to do next? And she just wasn't sure. And this is what prompted this conversation today, because as women, if you're going to work, I believe it's nothing wrong, especially with women, if they want to work, or maybe you don't want to work, whatever it may be, it's your choice. But if you're going to work, especially because there's a lot of women that they bring in an income, but they do work from home, so they do have a business. However, they take care of home, they're home wives, and that's great. And then there's women that say, okay, I'm going to take care of home, and I'm going to also work outside of the home. And no judgment. That's not what the conversation is about today. So not judging that, just really trying to zone in on why, when we talk about women and finances, why we tend to undervalue our work and undervalue our efforts. See, no one will place value on your life and your efforts more than you will. No one. So you really have to stand up. You have to stand firm to what you believe. So when she went and she did the work and she compared it, and the numbers told her, because I am all about the numbers and you know that, but the numbers told her that it was time for a change. It was time for a financial change. But for whatever reason, she was fighting it. And this is what I want to talk about, so that as women, you can get through this thing and get through it very quickly and get to the money, get to the success, get to the level of success that you deserve. So number one, if you, first and foremost, one thing you can take from that is evaluate as a woman your financial decision. And even though this is titled for women and finances, this can apply to men as well. But first, and foremost, just take a look at your situation. Take a look at what you are earning. It is okay. I know we have those things surrounded, I would say, bad thoughts or bad sayings surrounded by money, that money is evil. But I just truly believe it's not the money. It's just people do evil things sometimes with money. So the action could be evil, but it's not money if that money is used to honor, to value, because God put us here in a world that requires money. So God knows that we need money. So it's okay as women to talk about money. Often see I can have easy conversations with men about money, but with women, most times it's like a triggering conversation. And I never understand why. Money is so important. So if you analyze your situation and there's a need for more money, then you have to fulfill that need. Why? Because if you don't fulfill that need, then there's areas of your life that will go lacking. So there's areas of your life like getting out of debt will go lacking. And then now you'll stay in debt. So when I talked to her, I was like, well, it's fine if you're not going to do anything, but there's some other things that have to be in place. Are you debt free? No. Do you have abundance, enough money saved? Are you on your way to financial freedom? No. And so when I was going through these things, these financial questions, just asking, I said, well, wow, everything is telling you you need more money. So either they give it to you or you have to go seek it. You have to find it, whether it's another job, whether it's another business. If not, then I told her the next 10 years will be just like the past 10 years in your life. So number one, evaluate your situation and really determine if there's a need for more money. How do you do that simply? Probably just having a budget. See, when you think about it, you have a budget. It's your income minus your expenses. If you take your income minus your monthly income minus your monthly expenses, if there's something left over, that's a good indication that income is pretty decent. Doesn't mean that you don't need to make more, but it does mean that you do have enough. But if you take that income minus those expenses and you're at a negative, and you're in a situation like 60% of the people in America living paycheck to paycheck, that is definitely an indication that you have to acquire more money. And in doing that, that may be acquiring better skill sets. You don't often have to go to school for that. Often I say anyway, most people are going to college for degrees they're not even using. Not because the degree isn't valuable, but they're not using it. So you just develop a skill set. Make yourself more valuable so that you can attract money. And I think that leads me into my second point of attracting more money is you have to really dig in and do the inner work. See, if you really believe, because as our conversation continued with her, I realized she wanted more money. She just did not believe that she deserved more money. And see, if your belief is not bigger than your want, you will never attract it. You have to believe it. More than believe it, you have to act that way. Even before, I'll go back to the days of when I wasn't debt free. So if you're new here, I am totally debt free, mortgage free. And this is a beautiful stage in my life. But even before I got to this point, I was already acting that way. What do I mean? I was already making decisions like I was debt free. I was making decisions like, no, I will not charge this, or I will not get credit for this. I will actually pay cash for this thing. Why? Because I have the money. Why? Because I don't want to be enslaved to anyone. So my mindset had already shifted to where I was planning to go. So most times people feel as if you'll wait until you get there and then everything else catches up. And it doesn't work that way. If you've declared, if you believe that you deserve as women more, you have to start being more. I will say that again. If you feel you deserve more in terms of especially income and money, then you have to be more. So make sure that you are doing the inner work. You are training your mindset. You are training it so that you're an abundant thinker. You're not thinking in lack. You're not thinking, no, I cannot get the income that I deserve. You deserve it. I remember reading a book years ago. I think it was by Barbara Stanley. Something about being a six-figure woman. I can't remember the title. Hopefully I can insert that. But one of the things that was talked about is that belief. I remember it, and that's where it starts. So, not only evaluate your situation, but you have to believe that you deserve it. And then lastly, you have to take action. It's like anything in life. Anything that you want to acquire in life, anything you're destined to have in life, you have to take action. Now, did she have to leave her job? Think about it, right away? Because no, she'd already been working there. And especially if she was in a position where it was paying her bills. However, she did need to take action to start to accumulate more income in her life. Whether that was start seeking a new job, start seeking, maybe she kept saying she loved the job, maybe even in addition to that job, start to earn additional income, starting some type of side business, side hustle, whatever it may be. Managing those expenses, knocking out unnecessary expenses, knocking out unnecessary debt. Because what I know from most people, honestly, is that when you think about it, most people can give, not all, I understand when I say this, but most people can give themselves a pay raise just by taking their budget and evaluating their expenses. And really making sure they're not spending on things they do not necessarily need. There's a difference between a need and a want. So most people could give themselves a pay lift if they were to do that. So I would say, that's one of the ways too that you can generate. And you might even, and by evaluating your expenses, it might even lead you towards debt freedom. I hope it does. Because everything centered around women and finances, the reason for, accumulating more income is because we already know statistically women are underpaid. Women do not speak up. Even at the initial closing table of getting a job, most people do not ask for what they know they deserve. And I believe it goes back to that inner work, not believing it. I remember years ago, getting out of uni, someone told me, they said, why aren't you happy with the salary? I was actually negotiating a salary for a job. They was like, this is a great salary. Why are you asking for more? And I said, because I deserve more. Based on my work ethics, based on my integrity, based on my honesty, I deserve more. I'm not asking for anyone to give me anything. My efforts will match the pay. So to me, I went in with that level of confidence. And as women, that's another point. You have to have that confidence. That confidence that if they don't give you what you deserve, guess what? It's okay. See, when you're not strapped, and I think that's the difference between sometimes male and female, is that some males, even if they're in a position of need, they're still negotiating the right salary, the right pay, because they know they have things to take care of. And as women, if you know that you've made a decision to work and to generate this income, you have to negotiate your salary. It's really non-negotiable that you do not get the salary or the pay or the income that you deserve. And I'm talking about whether this is a job or whether this is a contract for your business. So when we talk about women and finances, I believe this is an important conversation, and I believe it's a much needed conversation. And I'm so glad when I look out in YouTube University that there's more women and women talking about finances, and they are proud of it. And you should be, because this is so important if you are contributing an income to your household. It is so important to understand that. So this is just a topic that I really wanted to talk about. I would love to pick up if this is something you'd like to hear more discuss more, then let me know. Thank you for tuning in. Until then, hasta luego.